847-296-3500.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
8:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
On this Friday, the inbound Kennedy has delays from Cumberland to Nagle and from Division to the Burns Circle. Travel time from O'Hare to downtown is 25 minutes, 13 from Montrose, 8 in the express lanes, they're clear. Outbound 23 minutes to O'Hare, traffic's heavy central to Harlem. Inbound Eisenhower, delays first are from Wolf Road to Des Plaines Avenue, and then from Harlem to Cicero. 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30, it's tight East Avenue to First Avenue. Stevenson runs 29 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 28. Inbound Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. It's heavy 35th to Roosevelt. I-57 and the Bishop Ford look great. Northbound Tri-State, heavy approaching the Ike. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our AM 560 Weather Center, partly sunny this morning, a chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Highs in the low to mid-90s. Currently 79. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I want to go back to Pelosi and Biden and the matter of presidential debates. Nancy Pelosi taking the occasion of the last day of the RNC during her press briefing to make this recommendation to her party's nominee.
I myself, just don't tell anybody I told you this, especially don't tell Joe Biden. I don't think that there should be any debates. I do not think that the President of the United States has comported himself in a way that anybody should, and that has any association with truth, evidence, data, and facts.
Joe Biden was then subsequently asked about Nancy Pelosi's recommendation, whether he would take it, by Andrea Mitchell on MSNBC.
I'm going to, as long as the commission continues down the straight and narrow as they have, I'm going to debate him. Now I know for certain that they're going to, I'm going to be a fact checker on the floor.
For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Bret Baier, of course, the host of Fox News' Special Report, weekdays 5 p.m. Chicago time, author of the #1 bestseller, 3 Days at the Brink, FDR's Daring Gamble to Win World War II. Bret, the reintroduction of this idea that the debates may not go forward by Nancy Pelosi, the timing of this, is this an effort to, one, minimize the importance of the debates, and two, get people to not place so much emphasis on them so they go ahead and start voting as soon as possible and not wait for the debates?
Yeah, good morning. I think that Nancy Pelosi does not operate in a vacuum. She was not asked a specific question about this. She was asked broadly about the election, and then she suddenly turned to this. Now, it felt to me like a trial balloon. Like, here it is. What's the reaction to it? And then Joe Biden came in and said, no, I'm going to do 3 debates if the debate commission stays on the straight and narrow. I do think that, they're trying to figure out exactly how and what to do. Meantime, the debate commission is actually considering a 4th debate or moving the first debate up because you have 29 states that are voting. They have access to ballots, absentee or mail-in ballots. You're talking about 211 million people. That's 338 electoral votes. They get to vote starting in September, and they will not have a debate until September 29th currently.
Well, so
they're actively thinking about moving that.
Well, so this was a trial balloon. This trial balloon, because there have been others that have been floated previously, including by Tom Friedman at the New York Times, about debates. Maybe this one then was a message to the debate commission to say, don't change that first debate. Do not move that first debate up. Do not try and add another one.
Maybe. There's all kinds of backwards stuff. But all I'm saying to you is that Nancy Pelosi doesn't just offer that.
Yes,
She's in contact with the campaign.
Right.
She's in, this isn't just like a one-off, like she wakes up and decides she's going to comment on the debate. This happens for a reason.
And it's so goofy. She's like, don't tell Joe this, where the message is clearly to Joe Biden.
Well, the message is on behalf of Joe Biden. It's before the press, for goodness sakes. Right, of course.
Yeah, and whenever you say, don't tell Joe, that's like, in conclusion, let me be clear. Let me be clear. And whenever you hear let me be clear, that's usually your soundbite.
Yeah, so this whole week, I know it's too bad we couldn't go to a Republican National Convention, but they really did, I think, a fantastic job of, just pinpointing what President Trump is going to focus on if he is elected for 4 more years. The people that they chose to speak at the convention were amazing. Is there anybody in your mind that you saw that really stuck out?
Well, first of all, let me just say, just from a pure journalist, I was at both as far as covering both. I said I was at both. I was in Wilmington in the parking lot for Joe Biden's final speech, but I covered every minute of both. And I think that the Republicans really, really outperformed. I think that people were giving them a low bar as far as the production value. Remember, Democrats have all of Hollywood. They have all these producers. They have all of this, talent. And yet I think Republicans hit it on a production value. It's just smooth and it looked great. But also on a message value, which was these speeches from ordinary Americans, and that amplified what the president's message is. The lobsterman from Maine, the cattle rancher from Wyoming, the dairy farmer from Wisconsin, all of these people. But for me, the most powerful was last night Ann Dorn, the widow of former police captain David Dorn. I think that if you're looking at a story that exemplifies concern about violence in cities and rural America and suburban America, I mean, she is it. And the way that she talked about it, I think, transcended party to a point where that was a big speech.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there were many examples of that, too. And from sort of ordinary Americans who became heroic Americans, too. I think of Clarence Henderson's speech on Wednesday evening talking about his and his friends initiating the lunch counter sit-in movement in the South against Jim Crow laws 60 years ago. I thought that was powerful, too. I mean, there were another number of examples about that, about men and women who were ordinary but did heroic things, or their ancestors did heroic things, which reminds Americans that heroic things can be done in this country by ordinary individuals.
Listen, when you get to the end of the Republican convention, you feel good about America. You feel like, hey, wait a second, we're okay. We're going through some tough times, yes, but there's optimism here. We've done this before. We, settled the West. We did all this stuff, and that's where the dismount for the president's speech kind of really hit it. I think, it might have been a little long, but he got everything into the pitch. And I think at the end of the RNC, you come to the conclusion that, we as a country are good people. And clearly they see internally that black votes are moving, because there were probably 4 or 5 African American faces every night.
Yeah.
Were moving the needle.
And he should keep Herschel Walker and Jack Brewer and Burgess Owens with him at all times. He should travel with them. I mean, that's that's how good they were. But on the production value, I just want to make this point too. You know, I mean, they have the advantage of the White House and the other venues they chose, Fort McHenry for Pence. But I think a key decision was having a live audience for Pence, for Melania, and for the president. I just think it provides a sort of energy you cannot get if it's just you to a screen.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think sitting there last night on the South Lawn, looking at all these people, you know, some of them wearing masks and not, some of them not. Not everybody was tested. We had been tested every week, you know, like every day, to get into our Fox bubble, to be able to sit on the same set. So I do wonder about, one, the image in the middle of this, and 2, about what happens in 14 days. You know, if they get out of it without anybody having a problem, the 2,000 people, I think that's great. But
that's not
obviously
feasible. Yeah. I mean, if you have 2,000 people, at least one person's going to get it. And if just one person gets it, they're going to blow it out of proportion. Yeah. Well, they called last night's event, CNN, a super spreader event.
It didn't. Yeah, but the problem is, you know, they tried the same thing with the rally in Tulsa, and the science just didn't check out to substantiate that claim, so it dissipated. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a legitimate concern, but it also seems to me that, you know, the message from the Trump administration is that, you know, we have to learn to live with this. You can't live in fear and, precautions. But look, people are going to chart their own course on this thing, and that's the way we want to approach it. And if you're so fear-addled that you won't come out of your basement, then you're probably a Biden voter anyway.
That's probably true. And the stark difference in how it looked, DNC and RNC, is really something. And you know, I'll say it was outside, you know, the wind was blowing, blah, blah, blah. But if you're Wilbur Ross and you're 83 and you're shoulder to shoulder, I don't know. It's just an interesting look in the midst of everybody concerned about wearing masks and spreading.
Now, we learned this morning that after Labor Day, Joe Biden is going to actually go campaign in swing states. Do you think that's a good idea, considering his age?
Well,
he's got to do something.
They need to get out and about, and they're seeing that. And the states that he's going to, I think, send a message that the Democrats are worried that the needle is moving. I mean, the fact that he's going to Minnesota, Democrats never had to defend in Minnesota. The fact that he's going to Wisconsin, obviously Hillary Clinton didn't go to Wisconsin, but they feel it's necessary to make an in-person pitch, and he's got to start doing something. I thought yesterday it looked like it was kind of rushed from Rehoboth Beach to get on CNN and MSNBC. By the way, we asked him to be on Fox, but he didn't come on. But but I think that they're starting to see something moving on, especially on the violence issue, and I think that's why the reaction of the campaign.
Yeah, Trump will be in New Hampshire tonight.
This important op-ed I wanted to get your reaction to. I think it's important. The commentator makes the point that the 2020 presidential election is the stop the spread election of appeasement of barbarism, not just of COVID-19, and that Trump is actually in the same position in 2020 as he was in 2016. He's the challenger. And he mentioned it last night. He's the challenger to D.C.'s men and women in both parties of always and their inelastic ruling class mentality, which he mentioned specifically, the ruling class. The commentator, by the way.
He's reading from his own op-ed.
This is in the Sun-Times. You may want to check this out, Brett Baer. It's very insightful. It's written by me.
Dan Proft wrote it,
yeah,
yes.
But,
no, it's a good op-ed.
But I mean, the ruling, he mentioned the ruling class at the outset. The idea that he positioned himself as an outsider, without saying it, he's essentially saying, I'm still challenging the established order in D.C., and I think that's a good market position for him.
I mean, whoever wrote that op-ed is out to lunch, but no, I'm
of course.
kidding.
Yes, of course.
And he's a horrible golfer.
I think you're right on. I really do, which is why you've heard speaker after speaker in the Republican convention mentioned 47 years. 47 years in Washington for Biden. I think we probably heard that construction more than any other phrase by different speakers. And the point is what Ivanka Trump said last night, is that Washington did not change Donald Trump. Donald Trump changed Washington. Mm-hmm. And whatever you think about him, ideology aside, that is 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Brett, before we let you go, Olympia Fields, I happen to be a member of Olympia Fields. So when you come to town next time, I would love to have you as my guest at Olympia Fields, and, let's check out our respective games and play for something that makes it interesting for you.
That sounds good. There has to be something public, like we have to deal with it
no
on
question.
the show.
No question about it. No question about it.
Okay.
And how, I mean, I know you probably didn't get a chance to watch as much of day one as I did because,
it's his club.
Well, because you're an important person and I got nothing but free time. But how about Olympia Fields holding up like a major course? Three guys under par.
It looks like it's tough. I mean, I have not played there, but looking at those greens, they're bouncing firm and they're fast. And when Tiger is respecting it, I know, it feels like a major.
Yeah. All right. So we got a game at Olympia Fields. I'll round it out. We'll get some, players. We'll have a whole day of it. I'll get you a Shirley Temple and some lunch.
I'll be your caddy.
the whole thing.
I need a handicap check. I need a handicap authorization.
Absolutely. No, it'll all be official.
Right.
We'll bring in the Presidential Debate Commission to make sure everything's on the up and up. All right. Brett Baer, Fox News' special report host, weekdays 5 p.m. Chicago time, and author of the bestseller, as all Brett books are. The bestseller is the latest one, 3 Days at the Brink, FDR's Daring Gamble to Win World War II. Thanks for joining us, Brett.
We'll see you guys.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Folks, when shopping for a home mortgage, how much is great service, low closing costs, and competitive interest rates worth to you? At Townstone Financial, it's priceless. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Demi, and I did my first home purchase with Townstone Financial. The biggest difference between